Good day, my loves. Good day, good day. How are you doing? I hope you are well. I am sending you so much love. Peace of mind, because with peace of mind comes clarity. And I am so thankful for my peace of mind today because I just got a thought and I just put some pieces together. And so it's like, okay, I got this. And I wanted to put it on camera before, because I'm writing it down. And I started, however, a thought came to me after watching a video about a black young WNBA ex player turned coach of her alma mater not defending her pink sparkly pants on the sidelines. And then the thought came to me because she had people hating on her. And the thought came to me, oh my goodness. Okay. And so I said it was a part of the agenda. The romance, Roman, Nazi, gay. And then I put try to obliterate because it hit me. It was like four different pieces of the puzzle just came and snapped into place in my mind. Hi, my loves. This is Fiercely Savage here. I hope you guys are well. I'm getting back into the message, so sometimes I don't even introduce myself. But since I took the moment to break that right now, go ahead and subscribe, like, and share, okay? And tell me if what I'm thinking makes sense to you. Even if it doesn't, I just want to hear your thoughts because it makes total sense to me. Okay, so I may talk really fast, okay? So when I wrote the romance Nazi gay and tried to obliterate, and I stopped because it clicked. Okay, up until today, and it's what, March the 6th, and it's like 7 something in the morning, almost 8ish, something like that. Up until today, it was like, it didn't make sense to me. And I didn't understand why. For one, let me let you know there is never mind, because that's not important. Just know that you're in competition. I didn't get it until yesterday, okay? I didn't get it until yesterday. I didn't get it till yesterday. You'll understand soon enough, but this is not what that message is about. Let me stay on track because I keep getting so many freaking thoughts. I used to be like, I don't know why my mind works the way it does. Now I understand, and understand why my mind works the way it does. Because I talk so fast sometimes when I'm channeling. And right now I'm just accepting who I am and the thoughts that I have and why I have them and why my mind actually works the way it does. So let me just get into what I just got. Y'all can say I channeled the message. I believe in God. I believe in my ancestors. I believe in higher beings. I believe in soul family. I believe in telepathic messages. I believe in all of that. Why? Because I've experienced it. And so God built me. And I used to think that it stopped there. No, but it doesn't. Okay. So as I'm writing this message, I was about to write obliterate women. Women. And this is not meant to be a trigger for anyone at all, but this is just facts and this is just my life. And I will not argue or dispute or go back and forth with anyone about my life. So I know I posted a trigger warning prior to this, and unfortunately, this is what has happened to me. Okay? So, and I'm like, why are they trying to obliterate the woman? Everything in this matrix is trying to obliterate the woman, the one that was born a woman. This is nothing against transgenders or anything, but those things, they are trying to obliterate the real woman. Why is that? Why is that? Why are, and then it was another thing, because I watched the tarot reader And in one of her messages, it was crazy because I don't know if I watched them in succinct. I don't know if I watched them in order because I went based off the title. And I hadn't watched Tarot like that in a minute, but she got my attention. And in one of her videos, she was like, she looked into the camera and she's like, all is fair in war. And she repeated it again, it's okay, all is fair in war. And then she was like, bitch. And then the next one, it was like, someone is jealous of you. And I'm like, wow, because that was the energy that I got from that. Like her energy shifted. You know, tarot readers can tell when someone new has entered into their auric field, especially if they are in tune, which most of the time they have to be on some sort of level in order to channel messages. So they can sense if you are another being, if you are another psychic, they can sense you. And as I watched certain ones, they sensed my energy. So when she sensed my energy, it was like that was the response she got. That's how I took it. It may not have been true. It could have been someone else's message. However, I've experienced several tarot readers when their energy has shifted, when they have picked me up. I'm just saying. Okay? So I'm like, they trying to obliterate the woman, the womb man. That means she encompasses both energies. That means she has the power, the magic, the energy to create and to recreate. We recreate all the time. We create all the time. When I say recreate and create, when you give birth, you are creating a new being, but you are also recreating yourself in a sense. That's why they are called a descendant. You are passing on some of your magic, your energy, your gifts to another person, which in essence will diminish yours. I read that. No, actually, I heard one of the tarot readers or a spiritualist on YouTube say that, and it makes sense, right? But I kept thinking, like, why? Why are they trying to obliterate the womb man ever since? And then it's like, okay, let's base what I'm saying on fact, on facts. Besides my life as an indication, because I've already told you they've been trying to kill me. Think about the witch trials. Think about that. They were trying to get rid of women. Take out the word witch, because in some instances, a witch is just someone who is an herbalist, okay? I don't know. I wasn't back in those times. I know what I read. I know what I've watched, and I know what I saw on TV. But I wasn't back there, so I cannot tell you why they burned them. But I do know that it was a witch hunt, and it was on women. And then you think about all the seers and the psychics, and they burned them too. Why? Why? Why did they kill them? Okay? That's fact number one. Okay? And then you come throughout the centuries. I'm talking about from all the empires, literally all of them, the ones that did not, the ones that changed history. 400 years of history just tried to be changed right before our eyes, just like the Chick-fil-A sign. I don't care what anybody say, there was never a K in Chick-fil-A. And now they're trying to Jedi mind trick everybody as if that K has always been there. It has not. Let me tell you why. Because I remember putting a K there and having to erase it or scribble it out when I passed the sign, because there was never a K there. And I know some of y'all that work there are going to be like, oh, yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. You already been MK Ultra, and you probably still in the Matrix, because there was never a K there. It was never a K. Anywho, that just irritated me. I don't know why I said it. And so you look through 400 years, the past 400 years, through the Roman Empire, through Women were revered in Egyptian, even though there was still some patriarchal rule there, okay? But throughout all of them, and then you hit where our ancestors came from. And it was about dehumanizing and emasculating the man, but it was really about controlling or killing the woman. Okay? Why though? It's all a part of it. Let me tell you why. Are you curious to know why? Are you wondering why? Are you wondering why they always try to diminish women on greater scales, on grand scales? And then they get other women to do it. But let me tell you, those are probably not women. They're probably men, or they're probably demons that are a part of the agenda. Because real women know real women. And real women know the struggle. And real women know their power. And real women know that they can create. Okay? They can also destroy, but we were built to create. But that man side, that masculine side, is there for a reason, because we still need to protect our offspring. They are after your children, because if they can get them young like they tried to get me, seriously, if they can get your children young, that's why you have to pay attention to your children. That's why you have to monitor where they're going, who they're going with, whose house they spending time at, what their parents are like. We forgot that. We forgot that. I was raised that way. And I always said that if I had children, then that's how I would be. And that's how I raised my nieces and nephews, until I realized that they didn't want me involved in their business, and neither did their parents, because of what I consider to be raising a child. They consider to be judgment against their parenting skills. But I was raised that way. We was raised that way. My mama didn't allow us to spend the night out like at strangers' house like that. I may have had two people houses I spent the night at that was outside of my family. But there was still some neglect there when it came to parenting. Okay? It was still some. But I remember that part. You have to be mindful of who house your children are spending the night at, because it may not be the parents that's molesting your children. It may be their brother. It may be their friend's brother. It could be a younger brother too, or an older brother, or it could be a neighbor, or it could even be the girl. Hear what I'm saying now? It could even be the girl. You don't know. You got to know people spiritually before you allow your children to even spend time with them. Seriously. I seen it in my own family. I seen it in my own family. So when that child is ready to talk, I know the antidote, because I know what happened. And the family knows what happened, because I told them. You got to be mindful who your children are around. But why do they want to obliterate the woman? Why is this whole agenda, this gay agenda? And it's not about the gay. It's not about, bisexual, trisexual, the alphabet. It's not about that. It's not about transgender. It's about, why do you hate the one man so much, but yet you copy her? It's not about color. It's not about race. It's literally about gender. It's about gender. This whole thing, this whole matrix, everything, the food you eat that's changing your body chemistry and your pH balance and making you more acceptable to same-sex feelings. And then that can be triggered, because if you have genetics built upon that, they try, especially if you are, now let me just say this, you can be predisposed. So when people say they're born that way, they are. But your karmic cycle in this life was to understand and overstand, because probably in another life you were a man that mistreated women, or you were a woman that went against your own kind. You sold out your child. You sold out your girl child. for whatever. But in this karmic cycle, it was not, I don't know if I'm ready to say that part yet. Because I seen another video and it was about, and that's why the thought came to me. It was about two women who had just gotten married and they were beautiful. Their wedding was beautiful. Everything was beautiful. And I celebrate everybody who wants to be in love and join. And they were saying that they had been calling each other their twin flames. And they were. They probably were, because I recognize and understand that the sister girl that I consider to be my twin, but I wasn't saying she was my twin flame because I was not bisexual. I was saying she was my sister girl in spirit, and she was because we were literally like twins. We were just born from separate mothers. And it didn't click to me that on a twin flame journey, it could be a same sex twin flame, but that doesn't mean because you feel that energy that you are supposed to engage in same sex. No, you were supposed to come together and learn from each other and build something together, but you weren't supposed to interact sexually, and vice versa if it's a guy and a guy. This is no judgment. This is just what my life and my experiences and what has come together for me. So take this as it resonates with you. If you've been having any doubts, this is no judgment on anybody who watches my channel, who practices whatever. Okay, this is just what I know to be true from my life, my experience, and the people that surround me. Okay? And so when I saw the video, I was like, oh, wow. Now, I don't know what it means spiritually. I can't tell you if you're going to hell. I really cannot, because I don't get that. I get that you may repeat a karmic cycle. That's what I get. I don't get you're going to hell because you're engaging in, because I didn't get that. When my life came together and I got on this journey, it wasn't the fact that I was going to hell if I had slept with another woman or if I had practiced that. That's not what none of the tarot readers that I watched, because I was so stunned about what was going on that it was like I was in total disbelief, that I was like watching everybody like, are they saying the same thing? Are they saying the same thing? Like, that's literally how it started for me. It was like, because I was in disbelief. By this time I had been isolated because God showed me who, and my ancestors showed me who. God showed me who. And when I make a differentiation, I really do mean it, because God built me, right? So my intuition is God-given. Everything about my physicality, my mental, my emotional is God. But my ancestors showed me who they were, because I was side by side with these people when they were going through their trials and tribulations, and I was consoling them because I wasn't awakened to the spiritual world, realizing that they were doing something to me. Narcissistic spider's web, gaslighting, all that stuff in the physical, and you know what that is. But in the spiritual realm, it was something translated to like trying to kill me. They were trying to kill me spiritually. And that's how it translates in the 3D world. So if you got people around you, and that, it took me a long time to make that correlation and to not be fearful of it, because it's like, oh, they coming to kill me, they coming to knock down my door and all this other stuff. Not saying that they probably won't, because some of them will go insane crazy trying to do that to you, because you are heavily protected. And that's how my ancestors showed me, because I was side by side with these people while they were going through their trauma, literally, and I'm crying tears with them, because this shit is unbelievable what they're going through and what they experience. And they are friends of mine, but they weren't spiritually yoked with me, and they didn't have my best interest at heart, which means that they were thinking negative about me. They were having bad thoughts about me. They were trying to steal from me. They were jealous of me. They were envious of me. Anybody who tried to throw me under the bus, anybody who who spoke negatively and lied about me. I've had several people, two people come up to me. I had my brother come up to me and say, you know, what you're doing. I used to look up to you. And I'm like, well, what am I doing? No explanation. Prior to him saying that, and he said that while he was all in an episode, I'm gonna say it that way. But prior to that, his wife, my sister-in-law, tried to come at me like that and tried to pick my brain, and I had to quietly check her because I peeped what she was doing. She kept saying, oh, you know, don't you feel it? Don't you, trying to get on my wavelength, but you're not there, because if you were there, you would have came out and said directly what you was feeling. Yo, this person just walked into the room. Don't you feel that they energy shifted? Da 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 da. But no, that's not how you went. You started gossiping, and I feel it, and then you was like, and then she said the same thing my brother said. So I don't know who feeding each other, or they feeding off each other, and they're she was like, well, you used to be this and you used to be that. I didn't even address anything that she said when she said that. I just checked her about how she came at me, because I asked her several times, what do you mean? Because I already knew what she meant. What do you mean? What are you trying to say? And each time she tried to circumvent it, I made her say exactly what she was saying. And I said, I knew that's what you were saying. And I got up from the table and told her she was having that conversation by herself, because I was done with it. I'm not having a conversation with you because you can't be direct. If you can't have a direct conversation with me and tell me how you feel and what you're thinking, then I can't. Because 9 times out of 10, we are in the age of Aquarius. And if you are awake and you are awake, and that means I can hear and know what you're saying without you telling me. And I've had that gift my entire life, which is why I've gotten so much hate. Because the things that I say, even if I didn't know, I was touching their soul about the things that I was saying. Even if they kept up a facade in front of me, like they was this person and they was down like I was down, the way they acted towards me showed me that they were not in agreement with what I have said, which is how to raise your children. Even though they say you don't have it, it doesn't matter. I raised you, and I didn't raise you to be that way. And I have said that to my nieces and nephews. I didn't raise you to be that way. Because you know how I know that? Because I didn't treat you that way. So the way you're treating me, it didn't come from me. The way I treat people, and if they don't treat me the same way, it's not coming from me, because I'm showing you how I want to be treated. I remember in an earlier video, I was mad because I was like, that's a lie when they say, it's how you are treated. And do unto others as you want them to do unto you. I was like, that's a lie. That's a lie. Because that's not how it get done. But that is the truth, though. You just got to find the people that think like you and act like you and know how to be like you. But they are themselves. But they are aware of an upper consciousness. And they know what it takes to build a village. Because that's what I've always wanted, a village. Because I've known that's what it takes. You can't do this by yourself. You can't do it. Okay. I don't know why I went there, but why are they trying to take out the one man? Why? And I don't care if it's a man trying to take out a one man. I don't care if it's a woman trying to take out a womb man. I don't care if it's a they trying to take out. I don't care what pronouns you use. No disrespect. But if you are not for the uplifting of the womb man, the one that creates life, produces life, can take nothing and turn it into a home life, if you are not uplifting her, if you are not supporting her, if you are not giving unto her your complete heart, then you are on the other side. I'm talking about your mother. I'm talking about your sister. I'm talking about your wife. I'm talking about your daughters. Okay? How can you not? And I'm talking about men and women that don't. It used to befuddle me when people used to say things like, I ain't gonna say people, I'm gonna say women. When I come across women that used to say things like, Oh, I don't deal with other women. I don't fool with other women. They too catty. They too this. They too this. Whatever. In actuality, you are saying that about yourself. That's what my spiritual journey has taught me. The moment you point a finger at somebody else, how many point back at you? Actually, it's kind of four, but the thumb is pointing up. So it's pointing three pointing at 3 point back. So you gotta look at yourself. Those traits are in you as well. They may not be appearing as those that you are judging. So say this. Say you got women that you don't like the fact that they I don't know, whatever the case may be. But know that you possess that same judgment that you are projecting onto her. It just may not show up in you as it's showing up on the person you're judging. You feel what I'm saying? You get that part? Okay. So always look at yourself first. I always look at myself first. Always have, because I've known that intuitively, but now I know that this life is a lesson. That everything is a lesson. Every experience is a lesson. And right now, I'm learning how to balance my emotions. Not get too happy, not get too sad. Just be okay with everything. Because when you get too happy, it also has to swing. Like the energy that I produce out there comes back to me. And you have to experience both at the same velocity, at the same level of intention, at the same force that you put it out there with. You have to balance it. Your life is not always going to be peaches and cream. Your life is not always going to be Gucci. Your life is not always going to be copacetic. Your life is not always going to be dope. Your life is not always going to be It's just not. There are going to be some valleys. There are going to be some trials. There are going to be some tribulations. There are going to be some problems. And I'm saying it like this because I felt like if I did things right, if I lived according to God, let me just be clear, because I was raised in the church. So the foundation, even though it was cracked and riddled with a whole bunch of stuff that tried to indoctrinate me, there still was a foundation. When I peeled back those onions and those layers of onions about myself and got to the truth of what religion is, there were still some key points in it that I still carry this day. And it is one, do unto others as you want done unto you. However, when someone is not doing unto you as you have the right to cut them off. You really do. God does not want you to sacrifice yourself. God does not want self-sacrificing. He really doesn't. Especially not to people who are ungrateful. Especially not to people who... I wonder if Jesus knew that these people were ungrateful. I wonder if Jesus knew... If he knew that they were ungrateful and that they were still going to kill him as he tried to save them, would he have done it? And I'm not Jesus, and I'm not Yeshua, but I definitely was in the same situation because I was sacrificing myself energetically, emotionally, physically, mentally, for people who were not sacrificing for me. There was no give and take. They were taking. I was giving, and they were taking, and slowly draining me of my energy. And I said that to some people. I've said that because that's what it felt like. I wasn't even aware that I was on a journey and that it was all connected, that was actually what they were doing. And I feel like the people in my 3D life weren't aware of it, but they were aware of it on a subconscious level because their spirit was in control. Because now when I go back, and I'm thinking of a specific situation when this was back in like my 20s or such, and this is I don't know if they will ever watch my channel or ever watch this video, but anytime I bring up something that has happened, it is only for perspective reasons because pieces of the puzzle are coming back. And I'm going to get back to the woman, but I guess I'm going down this rabbit hole for a specific reason, for a specific purpose. So if this part resonated with you, I really would like for you to comment, because I don't know why I'm saying this. And I'm prefacing it with, because I can separate the 3D person, the 3D avatar, from their spiritual journey, because I can see. Just like earlier when I saw the avatar and the spirit connect in a person by their actions and then reinforced by their words, okay? So when I go back in time, when I go back into my memory deck and I recognize this moment, I see in her face that she didn't know why she was doing it. She didn't know why she said what she said to me. She was just as confused. She was not in control. So there was a girl that I grew up with when I moved to Georgia, and she was always in abusive relationships, but I can tell why, because that was her family curse. It was a dynamic. And whatever wounds that were not healed in her mother exhibited in her and the men she chose, just like with me, just like with you. And there was one moment where she was going back and forth with her, I think it was her son's father at the time, because he was driving her crazy. Caribbean dude. He wasn't Jamaican. And she was having a breakdown. But what I realize now is that the devil was really busy in her life. The negative energy, those dark forces, those entities was in her. They got into her. Mine didn't come until I was old enough, but they were in her at a young age, because she had an episode where she wanted to kill herself. Now, when she called me, I called her mother. First thing you do, right? You call the mother. And she wasn't fooling with it. I called her sister. She wasn't fooling with it either. I didn't have her brother's number, so I couldn't call her brother. So I go, and she's telling me that she took an amount of pills and blah, 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 blah. I'm your friend. What do friends do? Comment below. What do friends do? We look out for your health. We look out for your best interests. I call 911. Listen, you're not dying on my watch. Oh, hell no. No, that's not going to happen. So I call the ambulance. They come. They want to check her out. They want to take her. She crying. And she turns on me and says, "Why did you call them? Why did you call?" And she's yelling at me because I called the ambulance. She's yelling and screaming at me. At that moment, I severed ties with her, and I think we didn't talk for like years. I still talked to her sister and still hung out with her sister. And then years later, she invited me to a birthday party. But I can't deal with that type of energy. I couldn't deal with it. I separated myself from her, and that's normally what I would do intuitively. So why